to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, that you're acclimatizing to what that looks like. And don't aim so much for the physical, beloveds. Just get into a new life spiritually and mentally. And you will just find that your physical reality starts to reflect that is going on inside. But those are definitely stories for other days, which I am planning on starting, beloveds. They are going to be live. But for a live show, it does require a bit more spiritual preparation. So that's what we're doing, spiritual engagement, even during the show. So that's definitely what we're doing. And, I've been doing, someone sent me this article about, Mali kicking Denmark out, Denmark special forces. And I was like, Denmark? Since when is Denmark even sending their military abroad? The Scandinavian countries used to be all about peace and love. And so it got me to look deeper. And I found that, France at first, this whole Sahel desert thing, I really believe, beloveds, that the Sahel desert is there's either a portal or a gateway. I know there's natural resources. And there were allegations and rumors that in the 9 years that France was there, a lot of allegedly, let's say that raw materials were siphoned from there and just taken directly to France. Of course, they've been saying that they've been fighting these jihadist militants. And ironically, France actually trained, trained a lot of the Mali military forces to eventually take over. And now those same Mali military forces are the ones who have taken on this coup and have decided not to leave. So in a way, it's good. I think they always think people are going to be puppets, but that's not even why I'm here, beloveds, because France, I've already done a show on the beginning of the end of France in West Africa. It's actually happening, like the second, defeat, the second independence. Is that what's going to happen? Because you see, there's 5 countries that are connected to the Sahel Desert. And out of those 5, 3, Chad, Mali, and Burkina Faso, have all had military coups, and the military is now in charge, and they're being very unfriendly to France. But what actually kind of creeped me out about this whole situation is the fact that, France had about 5,000 military troops in the Sahel area, in the Sahel region. What is there? We have to ask ourselves, what is there? And then now they started withdrawing their troops after, because they've got too many problems back home. There's like a rebellion going on in France as we speak, So they started to withdraw. And also there was less enthusiasm for them. There were a lot of public demonstrations where locals in Chad, in Mali, demonstrated demanding that France leaves. Beloveds, our voice has so much power. I wish we knew it. I wish we knew that this was all mental. It's all about narratives. Because if we did, then it would be so easy to nip such situations in a bud. But now, so after that, then France was spending a lot of money on being there, et cetera, et cetera. I guess they weren't getting as many returns. They tried to involve other European nations, special forces, and 15 beloveds. This whole campaign in the West Africa is supposed to have 15 special forces, 15 nations, 15 special forces of 15 countries. I don't even know how to put it. In West Africa. Like, doesn't that sound a bit like Armageddon? I know a lot of you have emailed me saying, Armageddon is going to be in Africa and, all the European nations are going to fight, the dragon nations and et cetera, and it's all going to happen. The final battleground will be Africa. Armageddon is in Africa. But isn't this scary to you? That 15 nations, under the guise of fighting terrorism, want to bring their special forces into West Africa, or already, they've been blocked. They've actually been blocked. I think what happened is they wanted to come in through Mali. And then now Mali has kicked out Denmark. So Sweden was already there in Mali. Sweden actually said that they're going to withdraw their troops by March because there's just no local support, which shows you something, beloveds. If we don't agree, they can't stay. Like, I wish we understood that. But now, I think I did in a previous episode, I talked about how countries like Romania, guys, Romania, Norway, I think Hungary were all applying to send their military presence or send their special forces to Mali. But 15 nations, and they're saying it's a European move. But it's like, you see how narratives get us in some crazy situations? Military of 15 nations under the European Union, but that's still 15 nations because they have to each go through their parliaments and their processes. So that's 15 different militaries in West Africa. That just doesn't sit well with me, beloveds. And I think it's absolutely amazing that the military, the military government of Mali is putting a stop to this. That is just a totally destabilizing factor. And it looks like the only reason France is even backing off is because Russia has come in. Now, is that a good idea? Will Russia now try and be the new? As I always say, the most important thing is to get that old monkey off our backs. Then once you do that, you can now deal with the situations at hand. But the one that has even grown roots, those are the roots that need to be uprooted. But you see, the narrative has got us believing that things that are bad for us are actually good. Like, that is insane. Like, even when you read these stories and how the Babylon media puts it, it's like without Europe in Mali or without Europe in West Africa would, the people would totally be decimated. These military presence would totally take over. Like, the only reason they're there is because of fear and man-made terrorist organizations. Like, this, just when you look at it from a higher perspective, it's not even about Mali. It's about getting these militaries in. Everyone wanting that, to try their hand and getting their hands on something in Africa. But it's not business as usual in Africa, beloveds. Like, for real, for real. It's absolutely not business as usual. And the fact that of these 5 nations, 3 are now in charge of, under the control of the military. And then Russia is just there. And Russia ain't sending them for free, by the way. Russia is using a private military firm. But you'll see the Russian flag on some cars in Mali. I pray ultimately whatever happens in Mali benefits the people. But you can't even deal with your local situation if you guys are still colonized. And really, this has been a form of cultural colonization. But 15 European... Am I overreacting? That's crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments below, beloveds. Until next time. Tuko pamoja.